Well, welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and we're going to talk about some potential trades with some contenders, and we're going to get into it momentarily. But before we get into it, I need you to subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2 and let me know what you think. So, as you know, my New York Mets aren't doing so hot, but there are other teams that are doing actually quite well and have a possibility to make some moves. So I'm going to sort of enlighten you with some different articles that come across that you might find interesting. This is from phillyvoice.com. I know, reading this is a regular thing with me. 3 mock trades that the Phillies should consider this summer. From extremely unlikely home run swing for Shohei Ohtani to more practical ideas for the rotation and outfield. It's written by it really doesn't matter who wrote this. It's essentially trade season across the sports world, with MLB's trade deadline fast approaching August 1st at 6 p.m. All 4 local... I don't care about this other... Freaking Philadelphia, who cares? The home run swing. I don't think you care either. The Phillies would get this delusional trade. And I would mention the Angels are in the postseason right now. They have one of the wild cards. They're second place in the American League West. The Phillies would get Shohei Ohtani. They would trade Mike Abel, Griff McGarry, Simon Muzzodi, and Hans Kraus. Sound like a real name? That doesn't sound like a real name. That sounds like something from like an Indiana Jones movie. The Ohtani situation is a tough one for the Angels. He's about to be a free agent, and he's going to get an absolute insane contract from whatever team he signs with. LA would probably be best served bringing in a king's ranch for him and prospects, assuming he walks, and the Phillies should really consider throwing every good prospect the Angels want, save for Andrew Painter. No, they'd have to include Painter. At them to try and bring in Ohtani as a rental. He could literally be the missing ingredient for a World Series win. After that, John Middleton and the Phillies ownership should not hesitate to spend as much as it takes to keep the two-way star in town. This is extremely unlikely. And right off the bat in the article, if you prevent certain players to not be moved, then it's not going to happen. From the White Sox, the Phillies would get Lucas Giolito, and the White Sox would get Griff McGarry and Ricardo Perez. We mentioned how McGarry is pitching really well in the minors this season, and pairing him with a player positionally blocked in Perez, who's the best catcher in the farm system, is a nice package to send the lowly White Sox for their best starter. Giolito is going to be a free agent next season, but he's been very good in 23 with a 3.54 ERA. That's just a recent note. Adding him to a rotation led by Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, a surging Ranger Suarez, and Taijuan Walker suddenly has the starting 5 among the NL's best. Phillies cannot head into the stretch of August with a bullpen game every 5th day. Hey, that's better than with the Mets. They got a bullpen game every game. The luxury upgrade. The Phillies get Lane Thomas, and the Nationals get Jalen Ortiz and McKinley Moore. Rumors have swirled all season the Phillies want to bring in some outfield help. They don't have a lot of depth, nor do they have right-handed options aside from Nick Castellanos. Bryce Harper will return to right field eventually, but he's a lefty, and as is Kyle Schwarber, and outfielder Brandon Marsh. If the Phillies can take advantage of the struggling Nationals, they should. And Lane Thomas has been a rare plus for Washington, hitting .287 with 11 home runs. I don't know if this could happen. I think the middle one could happen. I think Giolito, is going to get moved. And obviously Shohei Ohtani, he's not getting moved at all, especially if the Angels are in a race. Now, as you know, or if you don't know, the Diamondbacks are in first place in the National League West. You believe that? They have a 3-game lead on the Dodgers. And they have played really well. So, according to FanSided, this is what the Diamondbacks should do. Diamondbacks could have shocking trade deadline approach. Leading the NL West by 4 games, the Diamondbacks have put themselves firmly in the driver's seat as calm and collected buyers at the trade deadline. One MLB insider, however, believes Arizona might not necessarily go all in or adopt an uber-aggressive approach in August. The club simply can't afford it. The Munchkin, Ken Rosenthal, wrote in his latest column, So might the Diamondbacks leading the NL West by 2 games take a more aggressive approach than they otherwise might at the deadline? Probably not. They want to sustain success, and a major push would leave them no guarantee for the present and possibly compromise them in the future. Per the Munchkin, the Diamondbacks are not a high-revenue team, and therefore they don't just have extra money to throw around. They have to make prudent, calculated decisions with their future trades, so they may not end up adding that much talent. Diamondbacks general manager Mike Hazen appeared on the New York Post baseball podcast, The Show, what an original name for Joe Sherman and John Heyman's show, in early June, and all but confirmed that Arizona would be barred as a deadline, aiming to shore up nearly every position. The Diamondbacks pitching rotation and bullpen could see the most changes this summer, as Arizona looks to get Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly some extra help. While Arizona will probably add a few pieces, going all in at the deadline may prove fatal for the club's long-term future. They still want to win, just not win at that high of a cost. Well, we'll have to see on that one. And finally in this video, the Houston Astros. Now the Mets will be playing the Astros this week. We'll see how well they do. The Mets don't normally play well against the Astros. That goes back for like the entirety of their history with the Astros. They do not play well, and specifically in Houston. This is from fans. This is from Sportsnet. Houston Astros targeting specific piece at MLB trade deadline. 3 potential targets. And of course, before we get into it, please, of course, subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. Number 1 that the Astros could probably target, Cody Bellinger of the Chicago Cubs. Bellinger has been one of the best left-handed hitters in baseball this season when healthy. Through 170 plate appearances, he held a 118 WRC plus with a 487 slugging percentage, 21 RBIs, 9 steals, 7 home runs, and an 822 OPS. Holding a mutual option for the 24 season, Bellinger is likely going to be acquired as a rental. Based on his left-handed power and his ability to play all 3 outfield spots at first, he could be a top trade target for the Houston Astros. Corey Dickerson from the Washington Nationals. If it's determined that Bellinger is too expensive, Washington outfielder Corey Dickerson could be a low-cost target for the Astros. In his age 34 season, Dickerson carries a respectable 100 WRC plus and 273, 8, 319, 474 slash line in 23 games. Seeing the majority of his playing time against righties, Dickerson would be a platoon bat in Houston. And finally, for this video, Sportsnet says there's Seth Green of the Oakland A's. Oakland Athletics first baseman Seth Brown. I said Seth Green, I meant Seth Brown. It's a different color. Seth Brown hasn't been as productive this season as he was in 22. However, there are reasons to think he can turn things around. From 21 to 22, Brown posted a 112 WRC plus, a 457 slug, 46 home runs, and 121 RBIs. Capable of playing first or either corner outfield spot, his success against right-handed pitching could make him another bargain option for the Houston Astros. Now, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, and of course, the Astros. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. Say hello to Seth Green. We love them in the Austin Powers movies, and I'll see you later.